Greetings, my beloveds. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Ani Cafe, the Violet Flame Intuitive, and I am back with another one. I know it's been a while. I've been working on some other projects, but I've been wanting to reconnect with my following and the collective as a whole and check in, given all of the various energies that are surrounding us at this time. There is a lot going on in our environments, and I know it has been crazy for a lot of us, both in what we can see with our own eyes and feel, as well as what we can't see that may be playing out in the subconscious, the emotional undercurrent, if you will, that some of us may or may not have immediate access to. But it is in these times that gift us the opportunity to bring up any shadows, any hidden emotions, any underlying patterns that are negative and not serving us, to make us aware of it so that we can heal it once and for all. As far as what we can see outside of us, there are protests and war and people on trial and plane crashes and you name it. But there's also a lot of good things taking place when we dare to unplug, to disconnect, and to tap in with what's going on inside of us and what's going on deep inside the collective and the energy shift that is taking place at this time. There is a lot going on that we cannot see with our own eyes. For one thing, astrologically, all of the outer planets are changing signs over the next 14 months. Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. We're coming out of the Kali Yuga, age of darkness, if you will, a 12,000-year descending cycle. We're seeing our patriarchal systems disintegrate. We're seeing a rise in the divine feminine aspects of humanity to bring it back into balance with the divine masculine aspects of humanity. We're also entering in to the age of Aquarius, the age of knowing, of awareness, of awakening. This is a major energy and consciousness shift. And also, these times remind us that what we focus on expands. We can be aware of what is going on in the world, but we can choose a different focus to experience our own reality, something much more loving. I am certain there have been a plethora of emotions to come up for all of you: anger, fear, sadness, grief, shame, regret. Like I said, these emotions, when we are aware that they exist, it gives us an opportunity to face them, to uncover the root cause, and to dare to heal that, to transmute that into something more positive, and to lay old stories to rest, old narratives that no longer serve us. This is the time that we are in. It is a very transformative time. It is in these times where I find solace in nature and the wisdom that nature provides when I sit and observe the more natural flow of life. And it inspires me to come back into balance with the more natural flow of life. So I wanted to come on here and share with you an experience that I have been having with a family of vultures at a venue that I frequent on a regular basis. It was Tuesday, June the 17th. I went to my regular spot in the evening on this day to go and check on the vulture family to see what are they up to? What can they teach us in these times? As I approached the area, I immediately saw them perched upon these tall light poles that have been erected to shine light on the tennis courts and the other fields in the area. This is where they like to perch and to watch. They sit or they stand or they fluff their wings and they watch from atop these high perches. And these are humongous birds. These videos and photos do them no justice whatsoever. The biggest one has to be as big as a large turkey. I didn't readily notice them the first time. I was walking out onto the tennis courts for the first time and I was admiring the beauty of the facilities at this particular venue, I noticed a comfortable spot in the shade where there was a bench on the side of a tennis court. And I started to make my way to go sit down. And as I was almost there, I looked up at this light pole and I saw this huge vulture sitting right over the bench. And I stopped in my tracks and I was like, oh, hell no. Definitely can't go sit over there. What in the world? And I just was mesmerized. And I was taking these photos. I couldn't believe it. I said, that is a huge vulture. So I backed up and I went somewhere else and I continued to watch them. And then I walked over to a different field where they have a baseball field. I walked around and I said, oh, I'm just going to walk. They have a walking trail. I said, I'm just going to walk along this trail. And as I'm walking along the trail, la, 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 I look up and I am directly underneath two other vultures. They are literally perched, straddling the home plate of the baseball diamond on each of the posts that where they have the netting, to keep the ball from going out. They were situated like two pillars straddling home plate. And I was already too close to them when I noticed them and I froze. I was like, whoa. If this is not a lesson in what you can see versus what you can't see, I immediately was like, well, what else is going on that I can't see that is this profound in my life? Immediately. So anyway, fast forward, I got into a regular routine now where I go and check on the vultures and see what's up, So I went out there yesterday and I'm sitting on the tennis court at a picnic table that they have there. And there's 4 of them on these light posts. And what I noticed differently about them yesterday is that they were just sitting. They were passively just enjoying the breeze. It was very windy. It was a cool breeze. It wasn't as hot as the temperature said it was. I think the temperature said it was in the 90s, but it didn't feel like it at all. We've had a lot of rains, and as can happen after rains, you can get those cool breezes. So it looked like they were literally just relaxing and enjoying it. So I said, well, let me do the same. So I closed my eyes and I listened to the wind and I felt the breeze against my bare skin and we communed together. And I contemplated walking closer because there is a trail that goes behind where they were sitting where I came in contact with a hummingbird on one occasion. And I really wanted to go and see if I could find some hummingbirds again. But something kept telling me, there's something territorial going on today. I don't know why I got that feeling. But I just kind of felt like, you know what? Let me just let them have their space. And right when I thought about that, a hummingbird flew out of a tree and hovered over the tops of the trees just enough so that I could see it. It was almost like I got what I wanted. And I didn't have to go into the vulture territory to see the hummingbird. So it was a validation for me that I'd made the right choice in that moment. So I settled in again to the environment. There was a little kid and his father working out on the soccer field. I could see at a distance. And the little kid looked up in the sky and said, Dad, there's an eagle. And this bird flew out of nowhere. It was black with white wingtips. It may have been an eagle. I'm not sure what it was, but it flew over the vultures and the vultures all stood up. They didn't move. They just noticed it. And then a few minutes later, the same bird came swooping from another direction and the vultures reacted. 3 of the 4 vultures immediately took flight, chasing this imposter bird out of the territory. They flew across the tennis court directly at my face, but just above me. It was the closest I've ever come to a vulture, or several vultures, I might add, and this other bird in my life. I was just awestruck. There was nothing I could do in that moment. I was trying to make sense of what was going on, and I realized that those vultures were like guarding their territory, just like I had gotten the hit they were doing. And they chased that bird out of town. And they came back pretty quickly. They came back after they chased the bird out of town. They came back. But this time, the biggest vulture landed on the pole right where I was sitting under. I was sitting at a picnic table underneath one of the light poles in the middle of the tennis court, and it came and perched right above my head directly, as you can see here in this video. And I was like, wow, I really wanted to go over and check them out. And I actually had sent out an intention that I wanted to communicate with them and commune with them. And here I am right here next to the vulture. But I'm not scared now because I was already here. The vulture came to me. I don't think he was too thrilled about what was going on with this imposter bird, but nonetheless, it didn't seem like he was too fazed about me. So I stayed there. And I think it was a mother. As a matter of fact, I really think it was a pack of females guarding the nest, guarding the territory. And so I took this video. I don't know if I'll get another opportunity to be this close to such a huge creature. And I said, when I get home, I'm going to pull cards and see if there's a message for the collective. So that's what I did here. I chose the Afro Goddess Lenormand Oracle deck by Andrea Furtick. I love this deck with all of its beautiful African imagery, melanated imagery, very fitting for the melanation in these black vulture birds. I decided to pull out the birds card and program that to represent the vultures. And what I do is a 5-card spread where I shuffle and cut the cards. And then I turn the cards over one by one until I find the birds card. Once I find the birds card, I pull that out and place it in the center. I take the 2 cards that came out before it and place them to the left. And then I take the next 2 cards and place them to the right. And I read, as we do in Lenormand, the cards in a sentence. And you just can't make this stuff up, people. Look at this big black bear here. The bear is a symbol of power, of authority, leadership, protection, huge, big energy. It's about embodiment of all of these things. These vultures embody these qualities as they stand guard, as they stand watch over their territory, just like a mama bear would. Calm until provoked. The potential for aggression if needed. There is no better card to represent these vultures, I feel, than the bear card in the Lenormand deck. Thank you, Spirit. Next is the moon card. That's all about the subconscious, your intuitive sense, your shadow, deep emotional energy, something that is not readily seen with the naked eye, but is deeply felt. So again, this is describing the vulture energy that I gleaned at this time. These 2 cards together are a confirmation that we are living in transformative times. We are in the midst of energies that are akin to the darker side of humanity, the chaos energy, the deep wounding, the suppressed emotions, bottled up sides of ourselves that are being set free at this time if we have the courage to flow with what this phase is gifting us. And quite honestly, I don't even think that the energy that we're in is going to allow us to continue to suppress, to compartmentalize, to pretend that we don't feel the way we feel. I don't think it's an option for us any longer to live under an illusion, especially when we know it's an illusion. Many of us are noticing that things aren't what they seem. And it's becoming harder and harder to pretend like it's all good when it's not. So the bear and the moon have shown up here by way of the vultures sending a message saying, We've got to deal with our stuff, people. We've got to go into the shadow and do the work. We no longer have a choice if the goal is to live a more positive and fulfilling life. So moving on, the birds card is, of course, the vultures. There is a whole family of them. There is a habitat nearby. There is a creek just behind the facility where I was, where I believe that they are nesting. I believe that the women guard the nest. And while they are calm and majestic, they look intimidating if you're not used to seeing these huge creatures in the wild or in civilization, if you will. But they will, what do you call that? It's like spiritual people, for example, on this platform. You can make the mistake and think that it's all love and light all the time and turn the cheekish, if you will. But being a spiritual person and outwardly embodying spiritual principles in daily life, that doesn't mean that when it's time to turn up, you don't turn up. I had a whole turn up moment myself this past week. So these vultures reminded me of the mama bear that when it comes to protecting her cubs, if she perceives a threat, she will turn all the way up unapologetically. And I resonate with that energy as well. So I appreciate that the vultures embodied that energy for me to observe it in their standing on their square and protecting their territory and potentially their nest where their young may have been. You don't know. That's why it's important when you're out in nature to be mindful of how nature gets down. You could venture over too close to a nest. Have you ever done that and been attacked? Who's ever been attacked by fire ants because they stood on the fire ant mound? You see? So I'm learning a lot from these vultures and how they get down. And I ain't mad one bit. I can respect that. Moving on to the lily card. The lily is about truth, honesty, virtue, purity. It can mean elders. So when I pulled this card, I heard purification because what do vultures do? They eat dead carcasses off of the ground. They cleanse the earth of roadkill. They embody our natural disposal system. We need vultures to cleanse the land. That is what they innately do. So what does that tell us? This is about renewal. This tells us why we need to bring up that stuff that we haven't wanted to face or wanted to deal with or doesn't feel good. Because we've got to purge it so that it can make space for the new, more positive, more loving energies to free up the blockages so that life can flow more readily. So these vultures are very cleansing symbols. So pay attention to what is unearthing within you, what is unearthing within humanity. With these wars and these protests and the division and the polarity, the world has a lot of stuff that's not going to just resolve itself. It's got to explode. It's got to come out. What's happening has to happen. Healing is not pretty. And we have the lily next to the garden, and how fitting, because the garden card represents the earth, the world, the environment, our communities, the land, nature, the ecosystem, territory, indigenous peoples and ways. These vultures are telling us it's time to purify our environment. We've had a lot of rain, and it's unearthing all types of wildlife and insects that hadn't been around prior to the rains. What are we unearthing? Nature is showing us with the cleansing of the rains. What are we purifying? What are we bringing up so that we can clear it out? People, the vultures are showing up to teach us that once and for all, the time is here, the time is now. The external energies are ripe and supporting true and real healing. Don't be afraid of the shadow. Love the shadow. Love all parts of yourselves. This is how we grow and evolve and become better versions of ourselves. We are embodying, shout out to the bear card and the vultures, unconditional love, first and foremost for ourselves. The way we heal the collective, the way we heal humanity and the world at large is that we've got to unearth within us what needs to be addressed and love it enough to set it free. And that's how we heal as a collective, one by one by one. So what do we do next? We work on ourselves. Start by journaling. Get real quiet and just be. Listen and feel whatever comes up. Journal it. Don't be afraid to collaborate with AI, ChatGPT, to come up with some positive affirmations that you can say for yourself every day. Be present in every moment. Make better food choices to give your body a chance to embody more light. Move, walk out in nature, light stretching, yoga, method you choose. Move your body. Speak life over the water that you drink before you drink it. Step by step, one day at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. Making even small incremental changes each and every day will multiply, each day building on the next. Be mindful of your thoughts. Speak to each of your body parts as you bathe in the shower. Positive things, gratitude, unplug from the narrative. It's okay to be aware of what's going on, but you can choose to focus your energies elsewhere. Choose wisely. This is what I have for you, my beloveds. Thank you again for stopping by. If you like what you've been hearing and seeing on my channel, kindly hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know how these messages are resonating for you. Of course, if you'd like a personal reading, send me an email, violetflameconsults@gmail.com. I'm also working on some other projects that I'll be launching soon. You may see down in the video list a couple of teasers for the mystery school with the Violet Flame Intuitive. So be on the lookout for some course offerings coming soon. That's my new baby. And I'll still be stopping by on my channel here to drop you guys a nugget or two as I am called, as I am inspired. All for now. Peace be with you. Ashe. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let me know how these messages are resonating for you in the comment section. If you would like a personal reading, never hesitate to email me at violetflameconsults@gmail.com. Thanks again for stopping by.